Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about a chapter in my book called Repeat After Me.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about one of the chapters in my book called Repeat After Me. And the reason I titled it Repeat After Me is because children will do so if you ask them to. They will mimic and watch and do what you tell them to do at a young age if you ask them to. So Repeat After Me is talking about language skills, and it's our job as parents to empower children to use their words. But how are they going to practice if we don't tell them to practice? So often at this point in the juncture at 20 months, almost 21 months with my little one, and I've mentioned this in previous episodes, is it's fun to watch them learn and grow and try to repeat words. And the best time that I found that you could do this is early in the morning after they've had a night of rest. It's so funny because I'll pick him up out of his crib and I'll say, "Hey, good morning." And with his little binky, we call it a bobo, his pacifier in his mouth, he'll say, "Thank you," or "Good morning." And he says these words, and obviously he doesn't say them perfectly, but he says them. So I often at this point will go through the alphabet at 20 months. He's starting to learn the alphabet. I caught him the other day playing with some of his blocks, and he sees the alphabet on the blocks. And I caught him the other day, he got up to E in the alphabet. Just playing in his playroom, doing his thing. He's like A, B, C, D, E, and then he got sidetracked. But we're at a point where he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just repeating because he's heard it so many times. I catch him watching things on television. We'll throw like YouTube videos on where it talks about where they're talking about counting, and they'll say 1 and I hear him say 2. They get to 3, he says 4. He hasn't done it sequentially yet, but he does it. We practice his alphabet. He can say almost every letter. Q is kind of off and a few others. But we practice the alphabet. Can you say A? A. Can you say B? B. V is another one that's hard for him. But we get through the entire alphabet. But most times, the response to him, and there's a word, I say, "Can you say ball?" And he'll say ball. Can you say his own name? Jaden. Jaden. Can you say his brother's name? Christian. Christian. He doesn't say it's Tistrin. It's like a T in there. It's not quite right. But he's learning. And he's repeating. But I'll tell you this. The kid will not talk if I don't ask him to. But the real fun part, for me anyway, and I don't know how parents feel about this. I don't know. I only know my own experience. Look, I believe we need to enjoy the journey, and we need to take note of the journey. We need to celebrate these small successes. So the other day I was getting some ice for some water, and we have in our refrigerator, we have the choice of the full cubes or it'll crush the ice. And I like the crushed ice. My wife likes the full cubes. And then the little guy, he likes to suck on ice. So I always get him the little, the crushed ones like Daddy has. So I was going to get myself some crushed ice, crushing some ice, and he comes up and he's like, And it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and this is around the time that he normally, we're done with dinner, and he has his milk. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it, but I was like, hey, Daddy will give you some of his ice. Let me go get a plastic cup. I was about to dump it. And as I'm going to get the plastic cup out of the cabinet, he looks at me and he says, milk. And I was like, whoa, you want milk or you want ice? He said, and he shook his head to the ice and he said, milk. And I was like, so excited. And I said, thank you. I got down, eye to eye, man to man. Thank you for communicating. Thank you for telling Daddy exactly what you wanted. He saw the ice, triggered something. I went to go get him ice, told him what I was doing. This is all communication. Listen to what I'm saying here. I asked him if he wanted ice. I said, I'll get you ice. He was kind of throwing a little hissy. I started going towards the cabinet. Look, Daddy's getting you your plastic cup for yours. I'm going to put the ice in there. And that's when he paid attention and he looked and he says, milk. And I love the process of watching my children, the other one, 6 years ago, and this one now, being able to communicate to me with his words. But I believe that it's because I take the time, and if you take the time to ask them to speak to you, use your words, that they will learn to use their words. Repeat after me. Can you say whatever the next word is? Can you say? And every time he says it wrong, what do? Do I correct him? Absolutely not. I celebrate him for trying. So there's a lot of clapping. There's a lot of high fives. There's a lot of great jobs. But at the end of the day, you just have to repeat after me. And I'm enjoying this process with my little one. See, I don't know jack about parenting, but I do enjoy the process. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.